All right, YouTube, welcome to my corner of the garage, also known as my ham shack. This will be a quick one, maybe. I wanted to do a little after action report for Winter Field Day. I know it's been a couple weeks, but just still trying to gather myself. But tell you what went right, what went wrong, what we could do better, just in my personal setup and everything. So let's start with what was really good this year in Winter Field Day. And I think right off the top, the location. We're here in Arizona, blessed to be here. We were out in McDowell Mountain Park. Beautiful. It was in the maybe 50s, 60s in the morning. I know a lot of people were out there in the snow and the rain. They did threaten rain for our weekend, but we actually avoided that. Maybe just a couple sprinkles for less than an hour at a time. But we actually had enough sun to do a little solar charging, so that was pretty good. You can't beat Arizona in the winter. It's really great. Next on the list for things that worked great, my moccasins. I brought a 10-meter moccasin and a 15-meter moccasin. Both repeats. I had them last year. I loved them so much. They're quickly becoming my favorite antenna. Just the monoband. Picking up signals that some of the other antennas that were in our club didn't. I would say on the strong signals, it didn't really matter. We picked them up equally, and even some of the guys that had a little nicer radios actually got a little better audio than I was on the old 991 here. But in other areas, I was picking up real good signals and making contact, so that was really good, fairly quiet. The other thing that was great, band pass filters. These, I think they're a must-have. Last year, we didn't have these, and there was times when we just had to stop operating, waiting for guys to finish. I mean, we had 40 meters bleeding over into 10 meters, into 15 meter. I ran two moccasins, so I have two filters, so antennas in each one, and I was able to select, 10 meter or 15 meter, and fairly quiet. I was able, very little interference, if any, so much better this year with that. I think we also did a little better organization as well. Making sure that there weren't too many people on the same or anybody on the same bands. And if we were on the same band, maybe one was operating digital and the other was operating SSB, so they be spaced apart a little bit. So that was great. And speaking of organization, I built the field box this year. That was great. One box, bring it out. Set it up, set the antennas up, plug it in, and go. Last year I had boxes and boxes of stuff and sort of built my shack out there. So that was great. Let's talk a little bit about the bad. As much as I like this field box, got the integrated computer, so that was great. I was logging right in the box here, and it communicated with the radio for cat control. The battery worked. It had more than enough energy to go through the weekend. But I tried something different. I put an SDR in here, and my intent was, this is an old 991. My intent was to use the SDR and have some fancy software so I could do waterfalls and all that. And I ended up not using it because I didn't prepare. To be honest, and didn't get that whole SDR system finely tuned. And so when I started playing with it and started spending more time playing with the SDR than actually doing any radio, I decided to turn it all off, switch over to the radio, and just use it directly. And I was calling CQ anyway most of the time, so I don't need a waterfall. So something to look into for later, because I do think that may be a good thing to do on theirs. Have the selectivity in the software of the SDR in there to operate on. So lesson learned. And I think the theme of keep it simple moves over to this guy. Last year we used N3 FJP logging software, the Winter Field Day. logging software, great software, and it has a network capability that all the radios connect to, and they all write to a combined log. Really great, makes turning in the logs at the end of the event real easy, and you can coordinate amongst the multiple stations, which we had 5. Well, we were all wired last year, it worked fine, but this year we wanted to go wireless, and I was into home labbing last year, so I decided to get a little too smart, and I built this 3-node cluster running Proxmox, and inside of it were 6 logging stations all virtualized in Windows 10 and networked together and backed up and all of that, so you could wirelessly remote desktop into each of the loggers, and that's what everybody was doing. They would remote in, and it was nice because even though it's Windows software, virtualizing it, you could use your iPad. I used a Chromebook. Other PCs could hook up. They didn't need the software. We had the latest software installed on the virtual machines. And any interference on the Wi-Fi network, it would just affect your RDP session. It didn't affect the communication between the logging system and the database, which is critical according to the developer of the software. So that all worked fine. For months I had it going up, but of course on the day of Winterfield Day, the day of the event, one of the nodes decided to not start up. So never mind it not starting up. You got 2 more, and that's the idea of having a cluster. So it failed over. We basically used the remaining 2 to operate with, and that all worked fine, although one of the things that I didn't set up to fail over was our DNS, local DNS, which allowed you to get to the different sites and the different virtual machines, so I had to go around and set everybody up. So again, I think the keep it simple approach was probably wise here. I think it was a nice in concept, but we'll definitely go with something simpler next year. I don't know what it was, why the node didn't come up, because when I came home, as things would have it, I came home, plugged it all in, and just booted up. Everything worked fine. So I don't know if it was the humidity or the moist air, the coldness. These are little 1-liter PCs, probably not intended for field use. So lesson learned. And I think that was probably the only things that didn't go well. Probably nerve-wracking on my part. I don't know if anybody ever noticed, but I sure did, because it distracted me from radio play. Let's see, and finally, I guess let's end on a good note for Winterfield Day. One of the things that I think I would encourage everybody, even if they don't operate radio, is to go find a club that's going to do a field event like this, because my club, the Chandler Ham Radio Club, did an amazing job setting it up, the camaraderie, everybody helping it out. There was actually 2 new hams that were out at the event, and a lot of the operators there were gracious enough, they're not going to be on there 24/7. They were hospitable and allowed newbies to sit down and operate their rigs. So even if you had a tech license, there was a lot of extra class and general class guys out there running the HF. So we sat down with them and helped them log. It was great. We had a great potluck dinner. A lot of people came out for that. In fact, I think our group size probably quadrupled for the potluck. So it was a good time. So I would really encourage all of you that are interested in radio, even if you don't have a field kit or something to go operate outside, look up a local club next year, or summer field day coming up, I think in June or July, which we typically don't do here in Arizona for obvious reasons. But get out there, get with a club, and play some radio. You'll meet a lot of nice people maybe learn some new things. Heck, I learned some things out there that I didn't know. So I think looking forward to next year, I'm already planning what we're going to change. Obviously, this guy's going to be retrofitted, but I think the Moxons are going to merge into one. I think I really want to set up and work with the club and a couple guys in the club is to put up a hex beam, maybe a tribander, and 20, 15, and 10, and into one single multi-band antenna, into a triplexer, bandpass filters, and 3 stations operating right there side by side. I think that'll really be cool. And winter field day, I think there was some good, there's some bad, as every field event. But hey, I think that's what field day's for, is to get out and hone the skills of going out remote without power, without internet, setting an operation, and making sure you know how to use your gear. Especially when things don't work, how do you correct, or how do you redirect when things aren't going your way? Definitely had a lot of practice doing that weekend. So that's it. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're playing a lot of radio. The bands are opening up. It's been great here in Arizona. A lot of the 10 meter and 15 meters just going crazy lately. So I hope you're out there playing radio. Until next time, I'm Barry, KK7JXG. See ya, 73.